Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this cute elf wall hanging. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. For this tutorial you're going to want red and green yarn. You're going to want a skin tone of your choosing, some blush yarn and some brown. You're also going to want your hook, some scissors, a needle and a small bell. And I'm not showing it here, but you will also want a fork. To begin, you want to take your red yarn and create a slip knot, and then you want to chain 29. Once you're done, what you want to do is double crochet into the back loop of the second chain from hook. You're then going to double crochet into every chain along until you reach the end, and that's 28 double crochets in total. Once you reach the end, you just want to chain one and turn your work, and you're going to repeat this for another 3 rows until you have 4 rows in total of double crochet in the red. Once you reach the end of those 4 rows of double crochet, you're just going to chain one and pull up a loop, and then you're going to cut your yarn. And we're now going to attach our green yarn, and what we want to do is create our channel. So what we want to do is attach our green into the front stitch of the top row and the back row, and this will help create our channel. So we're going through that first stitch of the back row as well, attaching our yarn into there, and then we're going to double crochet into every stitch along, going through the front and the back. And when you reach the end of that row, you just want to make sure that you still have your 28 double crochet. And there we go, there is our first row of green. Now what you want to do is chain one and turn your work, and we're going to repeat one more row of double crochet in the green. And there is our second row. We're going to chain one and pull up a loop, cut our yarn, and take our red and attach our red again. And we're now going to repeat another 2 rows of double crochet with our red. And then we're going to attach our green once we finish those 2 rows of red, and do 1 more row of double crochet with the green. And once you've finished that row, you want to chain one, pull up a loop, and cut your yarn. So I've gone ahead and stitched in all of my ends, and now what you want to do is attach your brown yarn into the last stitch that we just finished. And then you want to double crochet with your brown into the first 6 stitches, and then into that 7th stitch you're going to go in but only pull through the first 2 loops. And now what you want to do is take your skin toned yarn and pull through those last 2 loops with the skin toned yarn, and then double crochet into the next 4 stitches. Into the 5th stitch you're going to go in but only pull through the first 2 loops, Drop that yarn to the back and pick up your brown. Pull through those last 2 loops with your brown, and then go into the next 3 stitches for a double crochet with your brown. And into the 4th stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the back and pick up your skin toned yarn. Pull through those last 2 loops, and then go into the next 4 stitches for a double crochet. Into the 5th stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the back and pick up your brown yarn. Pull through those last 2 loops, and go into the next 7 stitches for a double crochet with the brown. And once you've finished that, what you want to do is chain 1 and turn your work. You're going to go into the first 4 stitches for a double crochet, and into the 5th stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front, pick up your skin toned yarn, pull through those last 2 loops, and then go into the next 7 stitches for a double crochet. Into the 8th stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front and pick up your brown yarn. Do 1 double crochet. Into the 2nd stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front, pick up your skin tone again, go into the next 7 stitches for a double crochet, into the 8th stitch you're going to go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front, pick up your brown, pull through those last 2 loops, go into the remaining 5 stitches for a double crochet. Once you've completed that, you want to chain 1 and turn your work, and go into the first 3 stitches for a double crochet. Into the 4th stitch, go in, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the back, pick up your skin tone, pull through those last 2 loops, and go into the next 19 stitches for a double crochet. Go into the 20th stitch, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the back, pick up your brown, pull through those last 2 loops, and go into the remaining 4 stitches for a double crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. Go into the first 2 stitches for a double crochet, go into the 3rd stitch, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front and pick up your skin tone, pull through those last 2 loops, and go into the next 21 stitches for a double crochet. Go into the 22nd stitch, but only pull through the first 2 loops. Drop that yarn to the front, pick up your brown yarn, and go into the next 2 stitches for a double crochet. Into the last stitch, go in but only pull through the first 2 loops, drop that yarn to the front, pick up your skin tone, pull through those last 2 loops, and now you can chain 1 and turn your work. You can cut yourself free of the brown yarn, and now you want to complete 3 full rows of double crochet in the skin tone. So that's just 1 double crochet into every stitch along for 3 rows. And once you reach the end of those 3 rows, you just want to chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to start decreasing. So we're putting a double crochet decrease stitch into the first 2 stitches. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet all the way along until we reach the last 2 stitches. And into those last 2 stitches we're going to do another double crochet decrease stitch. We're not going to pull through the last 3 loops. You're going to drop your work, cut yourself free of your skin tone and take your green yarn again. Pull through those last 3 loops with the green and chain 1. You can now turn your work, and we're going to start the bottom of the pennant, and from now on the beginning 2 stitches and the end 2 stitches are going to be a double crochet decrease with everything in between a standard double crochet. So we're going to work this all the way along to the other side. And into those last 2 stitches we're placing another double crochet decrease stitch. Chain 1 and turn your work. You're now going to repeat another row in the green with a double crochet decrease stitch in the first 2 stitches. And working along 1 double crochet into each stitch until you reach the last 2 stitches. And into those last 2 stitches we're going to put another double crochet decrease stitch, but not pull through the last 3 loops. What you're going to do now is take your red and pull through those last 3 loops with the red, chain 1 and turn your work. You can now cut yourself free of the green for the moment, and you're going to repeat 1/2 double crochet in the beginning 2 stitches and the end 2 stitches with everything in between a standard double crochet. We're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch along until we reach the last 2 stitches. And into those last 2 stitches we're going to place a double crochet decrease stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. And we're now going to repeat another row in the red with a double crochet decrease stitch at the beginning, 1 double crochet all the way along until we reach those last 2 stitches, but not pull through the last 3 loops of that final double crochet decrease. And we're going to continue this pattern of working 2 rows of green and 2 rows of red and swapping when we get to the last row's final double crochet decrease. However, you will want to cut your yarn when you reach that final row to achieve a nice clean edge. And you're going to continue this until you reach a point. So I'll meet you back once you've reached the point. Okay, and now we're going to attach the ears. So you want to take your skin toned yarn and attach it into the stitch one down from below the hairline, and then you want to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're then going to slip stitch into the back loop of the second chain from hook and place 2 single crochets into the next chain. Go into the next chain for a half double crochet, and into the next chain for another half double crochet. Into the next chain you're going to do a double crochet, and into the final chain you're going to do another double crochet. You're then going to slip stitch back into the stitch that you had joined in, turn your work, slip stitch into the last double crochet, chain 1, and then do 1 double crochet into that same stitch. Into the next stitch you're going to do another double crochet, into the next stitch a half double crochet, into the next stitch another half double crochet, into the next stitch you're going to place 2 single crochets, and then slip stitch back into that first stitch to finish. You then want to chain 1 and pull up a long loop. Cut your yarn, and then you want to take your needle, attach this to your tail end, and we're going to weave this end through the back of your ear, only catching the back loops. And when you pull this through you want to be very careful, otherwise you will lose the point to the ear, and we're just going to catch the bottom of the ear to the elf head so that they sit more flush. And then you're just going to take that end through until you meet up with the other tail end. Tie these 2 ends together, and then you can weave them into the back of your work. And cut your tail ends off. So for the nose I've taken a blush coloured yarn, and I'm going to create a slip knot and then chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to slip stitch into the first chain to create a ring. You want to chain 1 and then do 4 half double crochets into the centre of that ring. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You then want to do 2 double crochets. So there's our first double crochet and our second double crochet. You're then going to do another 4 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to do another 2 double crochets into the centre of that ring. And then we're going to slip stitch into the first half double crochet to finish. And then just chain 1 and pull up a loop. You can now cut your yarn and your nose is complete. If you pull on the centre back tail end, you can just close up the ring in the middle. Now with the hat point, you're going to take your red and you want to chain 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are. There is our chain of 17. What you're going to do now is double crochet into the back loop of the second chain from hook. You're then going to do 1 double crochet into every chain along until you reach the end. That is 16 double crochets in total. And there we go. You just want to chain 1 and turn your work. And we're going to do 1 double crochet into every stitch along until we reach the last 2 stitches. And into those last 2 stitches we're going to do 1 double crochet decrease stitch, but we're not going to pull through the last 3 loops. Instead we're going to take our green and pull through with the green, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. You're then going to do a double crochet decrease stitch into the first 2 stitches with the green, and then work 1 double crochet into the rest of the stitches along. Once you've done that, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch until we reach the last 2 stitches. And into those last 2 stitches we're going to do a double crochet decrease stitch, but not pull through the last 3 loops. We're going to take our red again, and you want to cut your yarn after each change. So we're going to pull through with the red, and you're going to repeat this, alternating red and green for 2 rows and only decreasing on the one side until you reach a point. So we're staying straight down one side and decreasing down the other. And there we go, there are all of our pieces. I like to line up the nose by the hair point and place the hat. I'm now going to stitch these on. When you stitch on the hat point, make sure you don't stitch over the channel, just along the top and down the sides, but only on the red parts. And you also want to make sure that you have a needle that will go through the back loop of your belt and attach that to the hat point. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all these pieces on now, and I'll meet you back for the next step. With the eyes, you can also hot glue these on, but I like to sew mine on, as well as the buttons down the front. I'm now going to add some eyebrows, and I'm just going to hand sew these on. And you want to repeat the eyebrows, of course, on both sides and making them look relatively even. So there's one. I'm going to go ahead and complete the other, and there he is all done. I've added a tassel at the bottom. I haven't added a rod to this as I am currently still out. But thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave a like and subscribe for more. Leave a comment below if there's anything you would like to ask. I will do my best to get back to you, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys!